This is the AEW Dynamite November 26, 2025 full show results video, which takes place at the Pinnacle in Nashville, Tennessee. The show started with a Continental Classic Gold League block match between Okada versus Kyle Fletcher. Kyle Fletcher and Okada opened with mind games, counters, and rapid pin attempts before tensions rose into shoves and strikes. Fletcher targeted Okada's knee, but the Rainmaker fired back by kicking the ropes low, sending Kyle to the floor. After the break, Fletcher returned the favor and hit a huge superplex, followed by a boot, avalanche, and Olympic slam for two. Okada answered with a reverse neckbreaker, top rope elbow, signature dropkicks, and a tombstone, but Kyle kept surviving. The pace escalated with a Michinoku driver, a tiger suplex, and a brutal lawn dart into the turnbuckle. Fletcher then landed a last ride, but Okada still kicked out. In the final scramble, Fletcher reversed the Rainmaker into a victory roll to score the pin and earn 3 points. Post-match, Don Callis comes to the ring, and Okada offers a handshake, and Fletcher accepts, and then Don raises both their hands. Kenny Omega reflects backstage on his strained relationship with the Young Bucks, admitting he hasn't been the best friend and was once misled by Don Callis, making him empathize with their situation. He says if his friends and the fans can accept him despite his flaws, he can consider giving the Bucks a second chance. The segment ends with the Bucks exiting Omega's dressing room as the show cuts to break. Then we saw a semifinal match in the AEW Women's World Tag Team Championship Tournament between Babes of Wrath and Sisters of Sin. The match opened with Cameron controlling Hart until Nightingale tagged in and the duo double-teamed Hart. Blue broke up an early pin and soon tagged in, but Nightingale overpowered her with clotheslines and a spinebuster. Momentum shifted repeatedly, Hart hit a splash, Blue hit a neckbreaker and a tornado DDT, and the heels worked together with kicks. Nightingale battled back, suplexing both opponents before tagging Cameron, who landed a sling blade, Russian leg sweep, and several near falls. Blue and Hart scored big with a powerbomb moonsault combo, but Nightingale broke the pin just in time. Blue super kicked Nightingale to the floor, and she and Hart hit a double super kick on Cameron. As Cameron was sent to the ropes, Nightingale tagged in, hit a clothesline, and finished Hart with a powerbomb for the victory. After the break, Tony Schiavone attempts to interview the Ops Samoa Joe, Shibata, and Powerhouse Hobbs, but Joe immediately snatches the mic, insults him, and kicks him out of the ring. Before their celebration can begin, an SUV arrives with Swerve Strickland and Prince Nana, handing Swerve a staple gun, while Hangman Page emerges with a chain. In the ring, Joe orders Shibata to retrieve the Ops Dojo students, then boasts about his brilliance, comparing himself to Sun Tzu. He claims every step, Shibata stopping Kingston, Hobbs' power, and his own title win went exactly as planned. A video package airs, implying Hook was aligned with the Ops all along. Hook enters and insults the crowd, but Swerve and Hangman storm in. They decimate the dojo recruits with staple guns, chain attacks, and hang two trainees over the ropes while Joe retreats behind his faction. Referees rush in to stop the chaos. Then we saw a Continental Classic Blue League block match between Jon Moxley versus Mascara Dorada. Mascara Dorada and Jon Moxley opened with a test of strength that quickly shifted into rapid counters, Moxley taking control with a Japanese stranglehold and hard strikes, Dorada answering with fast reversals and an ankle lock. The action spilled outside early, with Dorada's high-risk dives repeatedly meeting Moxley's brutal counters, including a stiff elbow that stopped a huge dive cold. After the break, Dorada fired back with a Frankensteiner off the barricade, an ace crusher, and a near-fall Yoshi tonic. Moxley answered with mounted punches, but Dorada countered into an electric chair neckbreaker and a deep cross armbar before Mox fought free. A late surge saw Dorada hit a 450 splash, but Mox survived, got his knees up on a shooting star press, and immediately locked into Darce choke. Dorada faded, forcing a referee stoppage, and Moxley earns 3 points. After the match, Marina Shaffer attacks Mascara Dorada, but before the Death Riders can leave, Toni Storm makes her entrance. Grabbing a mic, she tells Moxley he isn't dreaming, she's here, vibrant and unfiltered. Storm says she's tougher, more resilient, and far less bitchy than anyone in the ring. She admits she likes Jon despite his cargo pants, but while he fights with fear and hate, she fights with love, and her love is far more violent. She then shifts to addressing his cavewoman daughter, revealing that, per their Full Gear win, she and Mina get to choose the semi-final stipulation. After struggling for days to find one, she woke up beside Mina and found inspiration, a Christmas gift, a hardcore holiday deathmatch, with no tags, no countouts, and no disqualifications. Schaffer loses her composure as Mox restrains her. Renee Paquette interviews Chris Statlander, who reflects on the uncertainty of what's next for her. She says people's reactions show the impact of her accomplishments, and all she's seen is disbelief that she's the only woman to hold both the World and TBS titles and has defeated Toni Storm and Mercedes. Chris says you can dwell on the past, present, or future, but she knows exactly where she's headed and challenges others to follow her. Then we saw a Continental Classic Gold League block match between Darby Allin versus Kevin Knight. Darby Allin and Kevin Knight opened with fast technical exchanges, Allin controlling early with a hammerlock, arm drag, and armbar. Knight finally reversed into a head scissors, but Darby escaped and unleashed rapid counters, sending Knight scrambling. The fight spilled outside, where Knight knocked Darby down, but Allin countered his springboard attempt and hit a Top Con gyro. On the top rope, Knight recovered and landed a back superplex before the break. Returning, both men battled on the floor with a leg sweep and a dropkick off the ramp. Back inside, they traded evasions and lariats, leaving both down again. On the ramp, Knight hit a pendulum DDT, but Darby answered with a wild diving lariat. Knight went high risk, missing the UFO splash, allowing Allin to nearly win with a Yoshi tonic. Knight hung Darby in the Tree of Woe, hit a coast-to-coast, then finally landed the UFO splash for the decisive 3 points. Post-match, Kevin Knight offers a handshake, and Darby Allin accepts. Back from commercial, Eddie Kingston cuts a promo and says he doesn't want to talk about Hook and all that right now, but what he does want to talk about is that Samoa Joe called him out, so he'll beat Katsuyori's ass on Collision for Thanksgiving tomorrow night. In the main event of the show, we saw a Continental Classic Blue League block match between Claudio Castagnoli versus Orange Cassidy. Orange Cassidy and Claudio Castagnoli opened with rapid counters and pin attempts, Cassidy trying to use speed while Claudio shut him down with power. After blocking multiple attempts at a Frankensteiner and DDT, Castagnoli hit a Cabradora before eating Cassidy's signature lazy kicks and a sharp thrust kick. A suicide dive landed for Cassidy, but Claudio immediately answered with a crushing lariat and a charging uppercut against the barricade. Cassidy avoided a second and countered only to be caught in a giant swing into the LED boards before the break. Back from commercial, Claudio punished Cassidy with gutbusters, but Orange rallied with dropkicks, a tornado DDT, and the Stundog Millionaire. They traded big counters, Swiss Death, neutralizer attempts, orange punches, and beach break, all kicked out of. In the final exchange, Claudio caught Cassidy on a pop-up and finished him with Swiss Death, earning 3 points. Post-match, Renee Paquette attempts to interview Death Riders in the ring, but they ignore her and put boots to Orange. Roderick Strong and Jet Speed make the save, but the Don Callis family evens the odds, and we get a big brawl. Mascara Dorada wipes everybody out with an Orihara moonsault. Orange Punch lays Wheeler Yuta out while Okada looks on from the stage, and the show goes off the air. How would you rate this week's AEW Dynamite show? Tell me in the comments section. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel, and thanks for watching the video.